Mr. Chancellor, ladies and gentlemen, Carleton graduates and faculty, I feel humbled to introduce Mr. Elijah Harper to you today on behalf of Carleton University. Our university's values stress inclusivity and respect for all individuals and groups, a sense of caring and community, and a global vision that commits us to resolving the problems of Canada and the world. As our strategic plan says, we want to be not an island but a peninsula of hope. These values are reflected in much of what Canada stands for and what Mr. Harper has fought for all his life. They made a documentary film about him 5 years ago, and CTV described it, and I quote, as a young Aboriginal boy is picked on in school and grows up to become a man of substance. What a gross understatement that is. A boy picked on in school? He was born on the Red Sucker Lake Reserve, about 600 kilometers north of Winnipeg, as the crow flies. Even Google can't give you directions to it. I checked, I tried. His early life is a story of many of us can hardly even imagine, a life of subsistence on a remote reserve, his grandmother chewing skins to make soft leather for moccasins, tuberculosis at age 5, at age 9 taken to the notorious residential school system, 850 kilometers away from home. I could go on. A man of substance, he has won the Medal of Canada, the Stanley Knowles Humanitarian Award, an Order of Merit from St. Paul University, the National Aboriginal Achievement Award, the Gold Eagle Award from the Indigenous Women's Collective in Manitoba, and many other honors, and he was voted Newsmaker of the Year for 1990 by the Canadian Press. To earn all this, he did things of substance indeed. To name just a few, he was elected chief of the Red Sucker Lake Indian Band. He was the first member of a First Nation to be ever elected to the Manitoba legislature, where he served as minister in various portfolios. He was elected to the federal parliament. He chaired the Sacred Assembly that helped to bring about the establishment of June 21 as National Aboriginal Day. And he has participated in numerous activities related to peace, the environment, and Aboriginal peoples, in places as near as New York and as far away as Australia and Tanzania. And of course, there was his maverick role on Meech Lake, which made him a national icon. The main rationale for his opposition to the accord was insufficient participation and recognition of Aboriginal peoples. And the means through which he expressed it was a filibuster in the Manitoba legislature. This reflects the intertwined strands, I believe, that tell the tale of his life, contribution to his community through the democratic action. His raising of his eagle feather and saying no on the Meech vote was a symbolic act that helped to draw great attention to Aboriginal affairs, while serving as an exemplar of democracy and a tribute to Canada's commitment to inclusivity and individual rights. As I said at the outset, Mr. Harper, Carleton, and Canada are connected by shared values. A key characteristic of his most important contributions to the Aboriginal community and the country during more than 30 years of public service is that it has been discharged primarily through elected positions. He is a hero to his people, and much like Carleton, he has supported and he has fought and he continues to fight for inclusivity and for the betterment of the human condition around the world. In a nutshell, he has chosen to be not an island, but a peninsula of hope. Mr. Chancellor, in recognition of outstanding contribution to the Aboriginal community and democracy through public service, I request that you confer the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa, upon Elijah Harper.
By virtue of my authority, I confer upon you this degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am greatly honored to be here and also to be recognized and to be bestowed this honor. First and foremost, I would like to thank our Creator for being here and for where I am today. Thank you also to the descendants of the Algonquin nations. Their unceded traditional territory is the place we are gathered here today. We are reminded at this time of Elizabeth II's Diamond Jubilee celebrations in London. And as you are aware, she is important to us because her ancestors signed many treaties with us as First Nations on a nation-to-nation basis. Treaties that last as long as the sun shines, and the grass grows, and the rivers flow. I feel a great sense of humility for being recognized by Carleton University in this way. For all those who helped us make this possible, to the Carleton's President and Vice Chancellor, Dr. Roseanne Riley-Runt, I thank you all. I am greatly honored to be recognized at a time as all Carleton's other recipients of degrees today. I believe the greatest foundation of my education began at home with my parents and grandparents. It has been the core of my identity and for who I am now, and it was from this I have been able to leave home and go into the outer world, which has at many times been very difficult for me. I feel very fortunate that I have been also educated through being elected as chief of my community, Red Sucker Lake First Nation. I was also elected into the Manitoba Legislative Assembly and then into the federal parliament, to the House of Commons. These have been very important to me. It is being elected to these high positions of authority where I could make decisions and thereby make significant changes for our people, the First Nations of Canada. I believe that an educated youth is our future. They put themselves through education into positions of leadership and significant places in society where they can make decisions that impact of the well-being of all Aboriginal people. It is important to go beyond talking and speculating. We must act on what we have learned through our education and our positive life experiences. I know all it takes is one to make a difference, because in my life I have been that one. Education takes us out of poverty too. It leads us to self-sustainment, where each of us can depend on ourselves to meet our own needs and our children's needs. For you students already in university, you must finish your education. For those who are graduates here today, congratulations. You have the future in your hands, and you have the chance to make positive changes that are so urgently needed in our societies. And this will make the world for all of us a better place. Miigwech, thank you.